Hey good people, Batavia here. We're going to do our first front yard garden tour of the summer. See you in a few. Okie doke, so quick housekeeping items. Thank yous to those who like, watch, subscribe, and share Be Better Garden. We appreciate you. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the button below and that notification bell so you'll be alerted each time I share more #GardenJoy. Also, we're going to do the full front yard garden tour focusing on raised beds primarily. There's also a container garden tour. I'll put the link in the description so you can check that out. As we walk through, I'll just point out a couple of things that we're growing in containers. All right, so let's dig in. This is where I'm growing vegetables, a few herbs, and a bunch more flowers because, you know, I love them. All right, so we expanded since last summer. So if you saw any of the tours last summer, we renumbered a couple of things. This is officially bed number 1 now, and I have cucumbers primarily in this bed. And then I have a few peppers as well. The cucumbers are doing okay. I've so far gotten one pickling cucumber off of it, but I haven't seen much else. There are a couple of babies in here, but I'm patiently waiting. This is a brand new bed, brand new soil. We have confetti peppers. Good morning. Morning, Rusty. We have confetti peppers here. It's a smaller pepper. These are the orange picnic peppers. These are supposed to be like snack peppers as well, and they started off small when I planted them. You can see they were put in on 5/30, so today is July the 11th. Oh wait, there's a cucumber that's gotten that wasn't the intention, so that thing is not gonna work there. I'll get that figured out once I get done here. We have these 3-tier flower pots where I dropped these seeds, direct sowed the zinnia seeds here, and then transplanted some marigolds that I started back earlier in the spring. And this is a summer squash. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's a white squash that I'm trying to grow in a container. And that's what it looks like in its baby state. Let's pan around. But for bed number 2, and this is the second year for this bed and the one over here, this measures at about 10 by 3. We have it kind of separated into rows. It's hard to see now, but I did some string to create kind of 3 rows, which is just a little over a foot each row. And then I planted in the rows, but also in the sections, because that's the way that the bed is put together. This is a bell pepper plant, and this is a cayenne pepper plant, and both of them were gifted to me from a neighbor. And so I put them right out front, so when she comes and visits, she can see and, you know, harvest some peppers. The next set of peppers, I think these are all cayenne peppers that I started indoors. And you can see they're off to a better start. Here are some snow peas that I'll have to pull. And then I did some asparagus beans that you see here that are going to trellis up. Next section is jalapeno peppers. Then behind the peppers, and this is where we kind of start the wall of melons, I have melons that are growing. I've done a few different types of melons here, and you can see they're beginning to climb the trellis. I've not grown melons before, so I'm both excited and a bit nervous about them. You can see one coming through. This is a mango hybrid, which I thought was interesting, and I wanted to give it a try. These are the early jalapenos, and you can see I have just a little bit of tucking to do here. We had some heavy rain yesterday and the night before that, so some of these plants are just leaning just a little bit. So you can see I have a few different peppers on this plant. This is one of the early varieties. So far I think that they're coming true. I have more melons. So this is a cantaloupe. So I panic bought these. These were starter plants that I bought because I didn't start my melons until like June 1st or 2nd, and I just didn't know. So right next to it is a sugar baby watermelon. So that's going to be a mini watermelon. And then on the other side of it is one more of the transplants that I bought, one more melon. So we have, I don't know, that's 6 melons on this trellis, which may have been, you know, a few too many, but that's typically the way that I roll. Quick shot of what it looks like on the other side. I have my handy dandy milk crate, which I don't garden without. One of my favorite garden tools. Then we're doing some sweet potatoes up here in these grow bags. Some more flowers for the pollinators. So, same idea of I kind of section it off in rows. We are doing more sweet peppers here, bell peppers. These are your California Wonders, which we have some peppers starting to bud here. I think this is your regular California Wonder, and then I have a golden variety next to it. So there are 3 or 4 plants here. My buddy Ben from the Backyard Gardens podcast and the Backyard Gardener, he recommended that I plant peppers near tomatoes, and so he said he got his best harvest ever last year. So I've done that in a few different spots. Here is a tomato plant that I decided to put out front, taking a chance that the squirrels won't bother it. And my logic so far has been it's a green zebra, which is one of my favorites. And I'm hoping that because the tomato is going to ultimately stay kind of green, it's a better look. So you can see it has kind of those stripes. So those will ultimately get kind of orange and yellowish. So I don't know if squirrels that bother tomatoes do it because they can smell kind of the sweetness or the color, but I'm going to pretend as if it's the color and hope that these are going to be fine out here. But peppers, got a couple of marigolds tucked in, and then we start with eggplants. So this next section, we have some eggplants. One's I keep on mispronouncing it, Listaria decada. It's kind of a purplish with a bit of white stripe. Some more melons, because why not? So I did a few more plants over here. I think it starts with honeydew melons, maybe. So I definitely have some honeydews here. Oh, I also have some regular, I guess I should say regular, mini cantaloupes. So on the other side, it's your regular size cantaloupe. Over here, these are mini cantaloupes. So next up is the okra. And I've had some trouble with Japanese beetles. You can see how they've just been eating up the plant. I've had that same trouble with some of my flowers as well, specifically the hibiscus. And this is how you know, there it is tucked away there, that the garden season is in full swing once your okra starts coming in, because it's going to be a day and night job to keep up with it. They start off slow, but then when they pick up, boy oh boy. All right, so here's another container. This is zucchini. Pan around, one more container. This is a squash plant, your regular yellow squash. So the last beds in the front yard garden, I haven't decided, but there's beds 4 through 7 here. There are a total of 7 raised beds in the front yard. These are the fire pits. I grew in those 2 fire pits in the back last year. They did really well. They're 36 inches around, so it's some good growing space. There's more eggplant, but this one's a little finger, which I've grown in my garden before with purchased transplants, and so I like this eggplant. And I have, see if we can get a good look, some lemon cucumber plants. I was gifted these. I direct sowed them, and I thought they were going to climb, so I had this trellis that I set up here, but I'm not sure if that's how this plant grows. So we'll see. It may be more of a bushy variety. I've looked online. I've gotten mixed results around it. This is a King of the North bell pepper. Shout out to my Game of Thrones fans. So we have some of them that are starting to bud there. See a couple of flowers. see, what else do we have? Oh, I direct sowed some Russian kale because I realized it's one of my favorite kales, but I didn't have it anywhere else in the garden. So I've dropped a couple of seeds. So I'm gonna move over more eggplants. See, look at all of these. We'll see if they all produce eggplants, which would be crazy. So I have cucamelons. I learned about this plant in the last couple of years, and I have really wanted to grow them. And so this is the first year, and they're a little delicate thing, I've learned. Slow to start. I direct sowed these, but they're taking off. I don't see any flowers yet, so no fruit in the immediate future. Oh wait, maybe that's what it looks like. So one of the things I really love about growing new things is kind of learning how that plant kind of starts and grows and matures. So I think the highlight of this area for me so far this year is the tomatillo wall. So salsa verde is my favorite salsa of all time. I actually have visions of having just cans and cans of that salsa in my cabinet. So I've been researching kind of growing tomatillos. I have for years kind of battled my garden squirrels, and I just didn't want to commit to, like the saying is, you should grow at least 2 of these plants. I didn't want to commit to that space where I had kind of my tomato plants caged in. But then I thought, I'm going to take the chance. I still, like I mentioned before, don't know if the squirrel will be drawn to it based on it getting to the point of being ripe, but I'm going to be hopeful. And even if they do snack on these tomatillos, there are just so many of them. You see all of these flowers here. I'm going to have more than I need anyway. So I think I'm going to be willing to share from these plants. I have 3 lined up. There are 2 that are in this bed. So again, that's 36 inches across. I have 2 in this bed, and then I put 1 more because I had 1 more healthy plant. So I dropped it in that bed there. And I also have down there some basil, which I'm uber excited about. I have to make something with this basil because I have it in a couple of different places this weekend I'm going to commit to. We're going to try. We're hopeful. So this was started like right around March 15th. And it came outside, was looking kind of peaked. But when I planted it, it recovered. But for the tomatillos, boy, do these things go wild. I've been trying to pin them up, and this is before they really even have fruit on them. So I'm gonna probably have to come up with something a bit more creative to make sure I can control these plants. Well, as much as you can control nature. Okie doke, so that is the front yard garden. This is year 2 for it, and I couldn't be more happy with it. I am going to continue to share as things progress. Right now, it's about 4 to 6 weeks old for the summer season, and things are really just taking off. We finally, again, got to some really hot weather here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below. You can also check me out during the week where I post most days on Instagram and Facebook under Be Better Garden, and over on the Backyard Gardens podcast. My buddy Ben and I are doing all things gardening. We're talking garden tips, garden recipes. There's a tinge of garden therapy for me from time to time. So you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just search for the Backyard Gardens. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.